Welcome to Present Poetry. I'm your host, Erin Crittenden, and all poems within this podcast are either public domain or used with permission from the author or the author's estate. It's a fun time for poetry lovers of all ages, so sit back, relax, and get ready to hear some poems of the past and the present. This week's featured poet is Amos Cotter. Amos Cotter was born and raised in upstate New York and is one of 7 children, all from the same set of parents. Even from a young age, Amos was drawn to the power of the written word, and he wrote his first story at age 7. He has also written so many poems and rhymes that he's lost count. At age 23, he wrote his first book, A Grandmaster's Tale, and has been writing ever since, earning Amos the nickname of Wordsmith, Bard, and other things. That's because, in his words, I am not content with ordinary. I strive for excellence, because if it's worth doing right. We are reading 5 of his numerous poems, including one from the Grandmaster's Tale, which he submitted to us by email. To learn more about Amos or his works, you can connect with the author on Facebook through the link in the show notes. This poem is titled 6-Point Font. Yes, there is frailty, indeed there is pain, and things can never again be the same. Though this struggle lasts for just a short while, some ice melts off the heart, and we see a smile. Because there is joy that was thought forever lost, mixed with the falling snow and frigid frost. Though the air is cold, we see he is warm. There is a smile and a laugh as he lasted through the storm. Deep wounds are healing, but scars will always remain, ugly reminders of the love and the pain. There is no grudge, he wishes her the best, knowing for a fact that he passed this test. Picking up the shards of what no girl seems to want, overlooked and unnoticed like a 6-point font. He is ready to move on, this is a new start. Perhaps once more, love will flow from this heart. This poem is called A 1-Minute Span. I open my eyes, the clock reads 3:04. I shift in bed and try to sleep once more. My wife lays still, looking like a dream, calm and resting, or so it would seem. I think of why she would choose me, for my strength and smarts are absentee. She could have chosen many other men, and yet here I lay, married instead of them. I think of her laugh, her smile, the way she calls my name, her heart, her love. My life has never been the same. Encouragement and support, no judgment in her eyes, beauty and peace, well-read, smart and wise. As she dreams, I gently hold her hand. The waves of my affection crash against her sand. I rest next to her as she makes me feel so alive. I glance back at the clock. It reads 3:05. This poem is titled A Moment to Share. The night sky beckoned a certain young man. He set up his telescope, then hatched a plan. First on his list was the moon, but just one crater. Copernicus was the name. Then a while later, he turned his sights to a planet so bright. With anticipation building, he turned his view to the right. Once in focus, Jupiter's details became clear. With the aid of the scope, something so far seemed so near. Once his fascination subsided, he turned to a sight of great luster. The object in question? The Pleiades star cluster. To the unaided eye, a maximum of 8 stars, impossible to ignore. With the aid of the scope, behold now, 24. Though captivating, the astronomer shifts his gaze to the constellation Lyra, for a sight not seen in days. For between each foot that the stars represent lies a great nebula spanning light years in extent. The ring nebula in colors orange, yellow, green, and blue. Some gasp in wonder, he knows this to be true. Viewing the night sky, he marveled with amazement, but soon he barely cared. For what good is this moment if the moment's not shared? This poem is called The Warrington Tablet, and it is from Tanask, Quatamoc's Code of Honor, which shall be released on March 1st, 2023. The royal robe torn in two, a king and rivals collide. How one holds the crown dictates how the other holds his pride. Even though battles may be fought and wars may be won, finding the dishonor within is never fully done. Kings and their thrones, lords and their crowns, in a matter of perspective, smiles become frowns. Now as the lion roars, surrender your hand to its mouth. Seeking your way, follow north from the south. Carry a torch, for the way ahead is dark. Remember to follow the roar rather than the bark. Over the waters and through the cavern, winding through the stairs and exit from the tavern. Now the key lies with the crown. Turn toward up rather than down. This poem is called Those 5 Threats, and it can be found in his debut book, A Grandmaster's Tale. A focused threat will grow in your house, with persistence like a flea and silence like a mouse. With stealth beyond his years, strength applied, knowing no fears. His evade shall be unrivaled, as shifty as the wind. A thief like no other, very determined. Cunning is his mind, crafty is his soul. Those that try to stop him, death will be their toll. A blade through his heart, your life to save, yet his reach will come from beyond the grave. His force will live on, under your very nose. Tread carefully for those 5 threats you chose. Thank you for listening to this episode of Present Poetry. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review, share us on social media, or subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you would like to learn more about the featured poet, or you would like your work featured on the podcast, please check out the links in the show notes. Thank you again for listening, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.